and welcome. You're watching The Money Show, your one-stop destination for your personal finance queries. I'm Kavita Thapliyal, and today, once again, we have a lined up Power Pack show where we'll be talking about various investment strategies for your financial portfolio and also answer your queries. So, just in case you are watching the show live and want any help from our expert related to your any financial goal, you can send across your question on our WhatsApp number, which is 865-797-4571, and the email ID is themoneyshow@etnow.tv. Do give us your investment details and let us know what is the help for what financial goal or investment strategy you want our experts to help you out with. All right, so let's begin the show now. And the first topic is your Provident Fund. Your Provident Fund is your hidden wealth or missed opportunity. How do you want to look at it? Every salaried Indian has heard of Provident Fund, but how many of us truly understand what it does, where our money goes, how much it grows, and how to use it smartly? With new rules, digital access, and options like employer trust, the PF landscape is changing fast, and so are the questions as well. But what happens to your PF after you quit your job? How can you maximize your retirement benefits to it? What is your PF money really? Is it safe and is it really growing? Today, we decode the ABCD of Provident Fund with a trusted tax expert and bring you the answers every working Indian needs to know. We break it down from withdrawals to interest rates, rules to strategy, everything you must know about your PF. I have with me Tarun Garg from Deloitte. Hi, good evening and welcome to the show, Tarun. And, let's begin with the basics. For every viewers, we really want to know, especially the ones who are new to the workforce, what exactly is the Provident Fund and how does it work?
Uh, good, very good evening to everyone. So, see, Kavita, Provident Fund is it's this act legislation came into picture in 1952. So it's a legislation that it's a retirement fund. So every individual who is a salaried and if he's working with a covered establishment, which means any establishment having 20 or more employees, needs to kind of contribute towards the provident fund provided his salary is say 15,000 or less. But what we see is many of the establishments do allow people who are earning higher than 15,000 per month to also become members as a voluntary members towards this provident fund. So provident fund is a kind of a retiral fund. So it whenever you kind of contribute towards this provident fund amount. So it's a 12% contribution that employer kind of contributes towards this amount, and then equal contribution is kind of made by the employee. So this kind of totals up to 24% approximately, and then this goes to this retirement fund. And over the years, it gets kind of accumulated, and interest is also credited on an yearly basis to this amount. So you would know that for the year 24-25, 8.25% has been announced as the interest by the government, though it is kind of yet to be credited. But then that's how year on year this accumulation happens. There are restrictions for withdrawals that you cannot just access this fund because this fund is meant for your retirement, which means it can only be utilized either if you're leaving your employment or when you are kind of finally attaining the retirement age, which is 58 years. So there are certain other provisions which kind of states that during exigencies you can also sort of have the access to this fund, but there are certain guardrails and restrictions around that, Kavita.
Right, right. Okay, let's just go back a bit, Tarun. I want to understand how much contribution goes from the employee and how much from the employer. Is it the reduction? Is it standard for everyone? What money goes into investment, and what is the interest that you earn from it? How much does it go in the markets?
Yeah, sure. So see, Kavita, the contribution rules are pretty straight, but in the sense that they have changed over the years, as you mentioned right in the start of your show. So 12% of your PF wages. Now, PF wages doesn't mean your full salary or gross wages. PF wages also means your basic salary, your dearness allowance, your retaining allowance, and cash value of food concession. These are the four components that comprise of your PF wages. So 12% of this PF wages is basically contributed by the employer, and an equal or a matching contribution is also funded by the employee. So it totals up to 24% that is kind of contributed towards the Provident Fund. Now, one interesting point to note is that this wage ceiling was enhanced from 6,500 per month to 15,000 per month with effect from 1st of September 2014, which means that any person or members who are drawing more than this amount basically needs to contribute. And earlier, the pension contributions were also mandatory. Now, the pension rules also state that if you are earning beyond this amount and if you are a new joinee, then none of your contribution will go towards the pension fund, and the entire 24% will be parked towards the provident fund amount. Kavita.
Uh, Tarun, also I want to understand the interest that we earn on it. Is it fixed or is it linked to market performance?
Kavita, see, while the majority of the investment fund is kind of retained in the, say, secured investments, which is corporate bonds, debts, but over the year and in the last few years, EPFO has allowed investments into equities also. So, in a way, if the market outperform and if the market is performing well, then there is a likelihood that the EPFO will announce a higher rate of interest, which we have seen that this year, while there were sentiments that the EPFO may maintain 8.1% as the rate of interest, but then the government announced 8.25% as the annual kind of an interest. So yes, in a way, like if the market is performing well, it is likely that the members will get a higher rate of interest on their EPF accumulations.
All right, a few common questions that we really want you to address as far as PF latest rules and regulatory changes are concerned. There have been several new changes in PF regulation in recent years. Could you highlight the most significant ones? And I'll come on the tax-free interest part later on. But yeah, let's talk about the changes first.
Sure, Kavita. So important changes are like one of the important changes that is kind of striking is that so for withdrawal of the or rather the transfer of the EPF funds from say one account to other, this form 13 needs to be filed. Now, what used to happen, Kavita, that the member need to take an approval from either their past employer or the current employer in order to get their funds transferred. Now that has been done away with, and it is a very significant step that the government has taken that the member just needs to file the form 13 and then their funds can be transferred from the old ID to the new ID. That is one kind of step that they've taken. Now the other change that has also recently happened is basically doing away with the like check leaf or the passbook that the members were required to sort of upload or provide while filing their claims. So that also used to kind of lead to many rejections that we have seen in the recent past years. So that these are some of the changes that has happened, and these are kind of landmark changes. I must say, Kavita.
One very important question, Tarun, some companies don't deposit PF with EPFO, but they have their own PF trust. How does this affect the employee and what's the difference?
Yeah, so important fact is that see some these establishments which are having their own in-house PF trust, they are kind of they have taken exemption under Section 17 of the EPF Act, and these are called as an exempted establishments, and that's how they are maintaining their own in-house EPF trust. Now, what change that we see is that now members who are falling with such exempted establishments, they will not be able to see their PF accumulations while filing their online through the UN portal or through the Umang app, because the trust will be providing their separate login IDs and through the company that they can log in to their specific PF account. Now, important thing to note over there is that the funds and the accumulations are managed and maintained by the in-house PF trust. So, which means these are not centrally managed by the EPFO, but the company is managing that. There are specific investment pattern that has been provided in the circular of 2015. There has been time to time amendments into that circular, but broadly, the trusts are also mandated to invest into the corporate bonds, the government securities, the equities, the alternate investments funds. So these are the broad kind of landscapes. But primarily, and the underlying principle is that the rules, regulations typically remain the same if the funds are even lying with the in-house PF trusts. Kavita.
All right. So then it is safe to assume that interest rate, or safety concerns are still the same, even if it is a trust. Is that right? Can we say that?
Well, yes, to an extent, it is right
Okay.
because the trust funds are also kind of protected by the company's undertaking because the trustees have to give
Okay.
an sign undertaking that the
Okay.
funds are protected. So yes, in a way, and the interest rates are also kind of confirmed because there is a appendix A to para 20, 27 AA, which kind of typically states that the trust has to announce the rate of interest at par with the EPFO, or they can announce the higher rate. So your question is an affirmative, Kavita.
All right. Last round of question, and I'm going to just put down three questions in one go regarding withdrawals and probability and dormancy. What are the rules regarding PF withdrawals, both partial and full? If someone quits their job, how long does the PF account stays active? Can it also go dormant? If PF transferable from one job to other automatically now, or does employee needs to initiate the transfer?
So let me just answer your first question. So Kavita,
Sure.
in say in a case where you have to apply for withdrawals, like withdrawal rules are pretty straightforward in the sense that if you have to apply, you are within the job and you are have to apply for a withdrawal. It is not complete withdrawal that you can do. You have to file form number 31, which is for your partial withdrawal. Now, partial withdrawals, there are certain conditions that you have to be in membership, say for 5 years or more, if you want to take an advance, which we call it as a non-refundable advance, either for your for children's marriage or for certain medical exigencies or for your construction of a dwelling or a house or extensions to your houses. So that form is called as Form 31. That is for partial withdrawal. Now, if a member has quit his employment or his job, then he can also file for a complete withdrawal, provided it's been like 2 months he has been unemployed or he is not found for his job. Then he can also apply for a withdrawal under form number 19. But if he has already kind of retired at the age of 58 years, he can immediately file for that withdrawal. Now, your second question was for a transfer, like if he has quit his job and it's joined some other organization. Well, in that situation, there was a kind of a circular that was saying that it should get automatic kind of a transfer. But then, as of now, this is kind of in a stage. It's in the stage of being kind of enacted, but the members have to still file form number 13. Now, this form is online. The members can very well initiate this form number 13 through their online login, and then the funds will get transferred from their one account to the other account with the new employer. The Kavita, your other questions were, I think, in the if you can repeat, maybe probably if it was it in the death claim or what did you mention?
Yeah.
Please, if you
What
can
if
repeat.
in what scenario does a PF account becomes dormant if you don't put anything into it, or maybe you withdraw all your money, you just have the UN number. Will the account be dormant? Maybe you take a break, you take a career break. What happens to your PF account then?
So this rule has it's a very important rule. It has changed in 2017. Earlier, if there was no contribution happening into your PF fund, 3 years down the line, and with no contribution, the account used to get dormant. Now, with that 2017 circular, the EPFO has clarified that only in certain circumstances, the PF account will get dormant. So one circumstance is that if the member has attained the age of 58 years and still he has not withdrawn that amount. Now, the second scenario is if he is permanently kind of shifted abroad, and in the form number 10, or we can say that in the ECR, the employer has accordingly also mentioned that this person or has permanently settled abroad. Then after 3 years of settling permanently abroad, in that situation only the PF account will get dormant. But in with the revised regulations, only in these two circumstances the PF account will get dormant. But otherwise, the PF account will continue to earn interest. And obviously, there are taxability conditions that one need to be mindful of. Any PF interest post cessation of your employment is fully taxable, and member has to completely offer that in the tax return, Kavita.
All right, I do have more questions for you, Tarun, but then my time is up for this particular segment. But thank you so much for being on the show and helping our viewers with all the nitty-gritties related to Provident Fund today. Thanks.
Pleasure, Kavita. Thank you so much.